Hola. ¿Qué tal? Buenas noches. Probando el audio. Si me escuchan, por favor, me escriben en el chat. Ok, genial. Muy bien. A ver, ahí. Excelente. Muy bien. Es parte de la adaptación a el nuevo sistema. Listo. Entonces, comencemos. Buenas noches con todos, así que voy a pasar ya al inglés, ya que estamos en la clase avanzada. Eh, Good evening, everyone. This is Miss Lourdes Uzuriaga. Welcome to our class, and this is our second class. Remember that we are in the Business English course, okay? So today we're going to talk about one of the topics that I am more interested about because it's something that I work every day. I don't know if you've heard about my experience. I tend to work pretty much with salespeople and business people, events, congresses, traveling and going to other places, especially related to international business. So today we are going to talk about personal branding, okay? So what comes to your mind when we talk about personal branding? I don't know if someone from our class can help me. Um, if you can give me some ideas about what is personal branding, how important is it, how does it help? Any ideas? Okay, so I think it's a way that help you to find work or create a business. Okay, yeah, that's pretty close to the concept. And why is it important to manage a little bit about personal branding? Or maybe how do you construct your personal branding, or in which part do you work most, or where are your efforts focused on? It's important because your image, and it's also all you can offer to people. Okay, so yeah, let's get into our topic. So let me advance here. Well, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about me. I am Miss Lourdes, and I studied industrial engineer, but mostly my career and my experience brought me to business, um, technology projects, working with international companies, big companies. Uh, I could say that my three passions, professional interests, are business, marketing, and education and technology. So I kind of move around those topics. Uh, I don't consider myself as a full-time teacher, but I really like the teaching experience and the skills that you have to uh, build to communicate better. But also, I love business with which is what I spend more time doing. I also lived and work abroad. I've been 3 years in Panama working for um, their headquarters in Panama City. And after that, I founded my software company. And as a Peruvian expat, I had the chance to represent uh, like the corporate um, attendance uh, in many events such as Cybertech, Expo Logística, and BizFit. So it's been quite of a journey, and I hope that my experience can give you some insights about international businesses and how English can open more doors for you as a professional or as a business woman or businessman. Okay, so let's get into our course. Today, after completing our session, we are going to learn 4 aspects or personal branding. So we're going to go to the foundations or personal branding. So we're going to learn about SWOT. We're going to talk about hard and soft skills. We're going to review a little bit about professional brief and body language. Okay. So please, if you have any questions or doubt that I can help you out, is just share it in the chat box that we have here. As you can see, I'm always checking the chat box. So, okay, so let's get into the first topic. Here we have SWOT. So I believe if you've studied something about business or even a basic course about business, you may identify this. You may know about it, but I'm not quite sure. So do you find these 4 words kind of related to something that you already studied? So please comment in the chat box, because SWOT is the English version of it's not a tool, but it's a way to analyze, to examine a business, to have a better perspective, a broad perspective about a business. So I don't know if you have any idea. Okay, of course, yeah. SWOT is FODA in English, okay? But in this case, we are going to take a perspective that someone that I admire very much explains. Have you heard about Ines Temple? Yes, so in that case, it's qualities. So have you heard about Ines Temple? So if you are hearing our class in our recorder version, I strongly recommend that you search or read what Ines Temple has to say about personal branding, because it's very powerful and it's very important now that there is a lot of competition in the business field. Okay, so Ines Temple is a well-known a well-known businesswoman. She leads a company that is called it's a very long name. It used to be DVM. They offer outplacement services for corporate and executive profile. But what I'm trying to refer to is her book that is called Usted S.A. Okay, so it's like a company, you know. For example, my name, no. In the case, if I apply the example of the book, it would say something like Lourdes Uzuriaga S.A. Okay, and what's the main idea about this book is that all of us are a professional services provider. Okay, so even if we don't have a company, even if we don't have a legal representation, we are kind of a company because our boss, our clients, our suppliers, and other stakeholders see our work as part of a service provider. Okay, so we need to change our mindset as someone that keeps a service, not just as someone who has unemployment and has to, meet some targets or do the work or something like that. No, we are a mini company. So we have indicators, we have KPIs, which is key performance indicators, we have a culture, and also we have a brand. Okay, and what do you think is a brand? Because we're talking about personal branding. Why there is a concept like a brand? Why is it important to have a good brand? So let me give you an example. You have a Toyota car and you have a BMW car. Just imagine this. You have both cars. Which car would you prefer? Don't think about the money. Imagine that you have all the money in the world. So a budget is not a restriction for you, but you have to choose between a Toyota and a BMW. So let me put it here. Imagine that you have to choose between a Toyota and a BMW. Okay, obviously you would choose a BMW. Why? I would choose the same thing, a BMW. And think about your answer, but it may be related to that BMW is a more classic car, is from Germany, and it may be more comfortable. It may be a little more luxurious than Toyota, and it may give you some better status, of course. Of course. And why is that? I'm not showing you the cars. You cannot drive it before you buy it. And that's when the brand comes in, okay? Because brands are promises. When you buy a brand, you buy a promise, because that company is so big, it has so much time, and they have invested so much money that they have to deliver the same quality level in every car that they produce. So it's going to be very difficult that a BMW won't work or may give you some trouble. Okay, and that's when the brand comes, and that's why it's important that we understand that we have a name, but not everyone has a brand, because we don't work on it. If you don't think about it, if you don't control it, you don't work on it, and you don't develop your brand. Okay, so what is the first step to build a brand? It would be that you have to know where you are. Okay, so for this step, I recommend to establish or analyze your personal SWOT. Okay, so you have to maybe discover or finish to understand what are your strengths, then what are your weaknesses, and then your opportunities and the threats that you have. So we have 4 components. 2 of them are internal components, which are under our control, but the other 2 are external factors. So can you give me what are the internal factors? Weakness and strength. Okay, so what are the positive internal factors? Which is the positive? Okay, and the other one is the negative. Okay, we are all going to have both parts. In this case, the suggestion is that we have to focus in our strengths, because the weaknesses are something that are more difficult to develop. We have to control them, but don't expect to develop them too much. Okay, if you want to go faster, we have to build on our strengths and control our weaknesses. Okay, so we have the first 2 factors, which are internal, and then we have the external factors, the opportunities and the threats. In this case, opportunities, we have an R that is missing here. Okay, so about the external factors, which is the positive and which is the negative? Okay, the negative is threats, and the positive? opportunities. Okay, great. Okay, so what about the external factors? Before coming to this part, I said that the external factors are not under our control, and that's true. What we can control is our reaction or response to what happens in our external environment, okay? But also, it is important to understand that opportunities may have a boost on our results and performance, okay? So in order to develop our personal brand, we have to be aware and we have to monitor the opportunities that may come in the external, okay? So let me give you an example. When I was in Panama, you know, as a Peruvian representative of a Peruvian company, because I also have a company here. As a Peruvian company and as a country, we have a strength, which is that we are very well known because we are good, you know, we are known as a food exporter, okay? So when I attended the Expo Logistica event, when I presented myself as a Peruvian businesswoman, it kind of helped me because I was talking with companies that were focused in the industry related to food, you know. So that sector was very strong is very strong in Peru, and as a result, I was positioned as a person who knew about the sector, even though I've never worked in that sector. But just the fact that I was from Peru gave me that, it's not a brand, but gave me that perception, you know. So I didn't plan to produce that perception, but when I saw how they treated me, I kind of understand that they connected the country that I was from with my speciality and my knowledge. So it kind of helped me to break the ice when I was talking with new business people. So it kind of was a opportunity to me. Okay, so let's jump to our second part. How can I build my personal SWOT? Okay, this is not a solo effort because sometimes we are not aware of ourselves, okay? And that's very common because we don't get used to be very reflective about this topic. But for example, now that we are in December, which is the month that all people review their results and what they do or what is missing or on all of that, it would be a very nice exercise to have a SWOT of ourselves. Okay, so Gabriela, can you give me an example of a strength that you have? What do you think is your main strength? Okay, one strength of mine, I think it's to be a perseverant person. So it's also to say persistent. I am very persistent. I think it sounds better. Who like to grow up. Grow up is what naturally happens. We grow up when we go from being a kid to being a young boy or a young woman. But grow as a person would be a better way to say it. Grow as a person. I like to grow as a person. Okay. So let's come back to our class. How can you build your personal SWOT? I'm pretty sure that you have some people that are very close to you, and they they spend time with you. They've seen you work or study, or they know you better than other people. So that's your main source of answers. You may have some, but that people who are more objective about you have no bias about the answer may really help you. So some questions that you could ask them, for example, would be, what am I good at? That's for strengths. What should I practice more? That is for weaknesses. Can I receive a better education? That may give you a strength or weakness response. What obstacles are on my way to success? And for that, you first have to establish what success means to you. So what would be like the moment that you would say, I get to this? What is success to you? And that final question would talk about threats, because it's also important, because uh, that can slow you down in your way to uh, get to the point of success in your own terms. Okay. Okay, next. So the personal thought, I wanted to share some photos with you. You have to see that, especially that negative part would be that the weakness part in some really nice examples. The weakness became a strength for a person, you know. So try not to hide your weaknesses, try to embrace them, be aware of them, because who knows, it may become a strength for you. And you're going to find many examples in the sports industry. Okay, so now let's jump to hard and soft skills. Can you tell me a little bit about what's the difference about hard and soft skills? So, what is the difference between soft and hard skills? Soft is something that involves less academic preparation, but that can be useful to start to develop a hard skill. Okay, great. That's a very nice concept about soft and hard skills, because you kind of connected both concepts within one explanation. So that's pretty good. Uh, okay, so yeah, soft skills helps you to build hard skills. And the soft skills is something that comes with us, you know. We are, as people, come with a special kind of personality and attitude and behavior and, I don't know, point of view, etc., etc. Okay, and that soft skills really yeah, they kind of influence the way we learn. So it's attitude. Uh, and that's why the what I wanted to point out here is that, I don't know, in my time, I'm not so old, but in my time, it was more people used to talk about hard skills more than soft skills. But now that I teach and talk with HR people or managers and all of that, they are more focused in finding the right soft skills, you know, because they say information technology, and nowadays you may learn whatever you want in YouTube, but the right attitude, the right energy, the right people skills is something that is harder to develop in a person than just give them knowledge and apply. Okay, so that's why what I wanted to point out here is that soft skills is kind of the the first and main part of all. How can we develop our soft skills? Doing, executing, getting involved in things that include more action than analysis, or being more active than passive, because soft skills, especially you can see soft skills especially in high pressure or crisis situations. When you are in peace, everyone is a great teamwork player, but when you have problems, people don't react the same, and that's where it's more important to see how a person shows his or her true colors, to put it in some way. Okay, so be very aware about your soft skills, and also who you hang out with. It's very important, because as a person you absorb the good and the bad. So it's very important to audit your environment. Who was your boss? Who do you what's your model role and all of that? Yeah. Okay, so let's jump to okay, so here I listed is 8. Here I listed 8 soft skills that I believe that are the main ones that people try to find in a professional, colleague, partner, etc. Please read them. If you have any question, just tell me about it, and choose 3 soft skills that you have, like the main ones, the ones that you have more that you believe that are stronger in you, or that you believe that are part of your strengths. okay? Choose 3 of the 8. So it's empathy. What else? Empathy, motivation, a negotiator. Okay. Great. It's great that you have it very clear. Okay, so this can help you if you are doing your CV, or maybe you want to update your CV, and try to focus your pitch, your personal pitch, based on soft skills, because that's your secret sauce and that's what is going to differentiate your profile from others. Okay, so let's talk about the first impression. You know, people are kind of don't take it so seriously, but the first impression may open doors on, or close them. And that's it. The first impression, we have to control it in a crazy way, because we as people tend to judge and tend to classify people in with different tags, to say it politely. So the first impression is that moment and that opportunity for you to control the way that people perceive you. So that's why I show you the bad example, which would be the posture, okay, how you stand up and walk, and the good example that should be to control every aspect of your personal presentation, whether it be the haircut, the eye contact, the smile, how confident you show yourself, what is your look, what kind of clothes do you choose, how's your body, how how you shake hands with people, okay? Uh, and I want to make it clear, this is not just for extrovert people. Introvert have to go the same path. So it may be a little more difficult for them to planify and, you know, make the right first impression, but you can practice. You are not going to be perfect the first time, especially if it's a important moment. You have to practice, and that's why you have mirrors, you know. It may sound silly, but when I wanted to make a great first impression, the mirror was my best friend. And that's how it is. You just have to practice, and it depends on how hard and how deeply you want to get it right. It is just a matter of being persistent and believe in yourself, and how can you make a great first impression. Okay, so a little bit more about body language. I'm going to put it the whole screen and take some minutes to read these good and bad practices and give me some comments. Maybe something that you didn't know, or maybe that's something that you already know and practice when you have gone to a meeting. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, so let's review one good practice and one bad practice. Okay, yes, tell me, Gabriela. Our body language can be related to the person who we are in contact. Yes, of course. And why is that? Because we as people resonate with some profiles, with some kind of personalities, and at the same time, we don't get along with other ones, and that's completely normal. We can be like a mirror, yeah, but sometimes it's kind of difficult to be a mirror for someone that is very far from what you are. So that's why in an interview is very important that you have kind of a click with that person, that you establish a click with that person, and that you, for example, uh, make your homework and try to understand what they like or what topics do they are passionate about, to talk about that exactly. So yeah, that's it. So just to review this, uh, to to give confidence to the other person, you have to show your palms. That is something that we're kind of wired about. That just do it. That's it. Don't press your fingertips together, because that can give a sense of that you are not confident about yourself, or that you are hiding something. Okay. Okay, next one. And the opposite of the first one, don't hold your palms down, so don't hide your palms. Okay. Don't conceal your hands. It's kind of not too formal. It's too sport. It doesn't look good. Then do not tap your fingers. It's also because you are kind of, you may be seeing that you don't control your energy. And the last one, do not cross your arms. This one is very common, but the problem there is that we don't are aware, because sometimes we disconnect our brain from what we are saying with our body. So that it's is the mirror is going to help a lot, because you are going to see that you want to sound excited, but your body doesn't show the same, so it's kind of inconsistent. Okay, so we've come to the end of this class. I just wanted to make a really small summary. Keep perspective of yourself as a professional. Yeah, you are a person with a personal life, and you have your own freedom there. But as a professional, you have to kind of manage yourself as a brand. So you have to work in your thoughts, discover it or update it. Focus on your strengths. It's going to be much easier. It's going to help you more, and it's not going to consume so much energy. As we said, the soft skills are gaining more interest than hard skill, and are gaining more interest than hard skills. Don't underestimate the first impression, because it can help you to open some other doors that you have to access. And the final one, control your body language. And if you are not very sure about controlling your body language, just keep in mind that the mirror is going to be your best friend. And that's it. Okay. So I don't know if you have any other question. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for being here in our live class. I hope you enjoy our class and learn a little bit more about personal branding, which is a topic that I am very passionate about. Uh, practice it. Don't just understand it, practice it. The first time is not going to be perfect, but that's the first part of a great journey, okay? Many of the things that today I do started with me as a learner or as a, as an intern, something like that. Just practice it and uh, trust in that you are going to be able to do it. Okay. Thank you very much. Just let me see here. Well, I mentioned Usted S.A., from which is the book of Ines Temple. Well, I recommend that you first start with Ines Temple, which has the foundations about the topic, and after that, there are pretty great videos in YouTube. So then you are going to improve your listening skill. Yeah. Well, thank you and have a great week and weekend. See you next class and hope you continue applying all this. Okay? Thank you. Goodbye. Te demoras mucho. ¿Así? ¿Te puso romántica? Sí. Oh my god. ¿En serio?